This is Novel Idea. My name is Dahlia. I am going to do the mid-year book Freakout tag. I know it's a little past the middle mark of the year, but I think still it's maybe relevant. I don't know, maybe not. So I'm going to get started on the questions. The first question is the best book I've read so far in 2019. I have a hard time picking like the best book so far that I read, so I'm gonna give it to two novels that I read and both enjoyed very much. So the first is going to be Educated by Tara Westover. This book had so much hype. I was really weary about it when I was starting it, but believe it, believe the hype. It's so good. It's so good. It's so crazy that this is real. I honestly wish I never read it just so I could reread it and not know what's going to happen, but it's just so good. I love this book. It's so well written and it's so fascinating, and it's written in a very journalistic sort of style, so you don't feel like she's trying to like pull on the heartstrings and just, you know, manipulate you into feeling sorry for her. It's really more just like she's kind of reporting her life, and I hate it when memoirs do that, so I'm always a bit skeptical of memoirs, but I loved this. This was so good. So yeah, woo, Educated. Okay, the other one I'm gonna give, if anyone's watched my videos, this is really obvious. Rachel Cusk Outline. Wow, how many times am I gonna talk about this book? Rachel Cusk's Outline, it's my thing, you know, it's so keenly observant, and it's so wonderful. I really just, it's short, you know, it's like a snack. I've talked about it a lot. I think it's wonderful. It's really observant. She has a lot of interesting things to say, and I think she has like a bunch of memoirs that kind of got slammed because of the fact that she espoused some views that were maybe unpopular on like motherhood and things like that. But those views are in Outline and they're in the trilogy, but because it's fiction, you know, it's fine. So anyway, I loved Outline. Read it. Question number 2 is best sequel I've read. Don't read sequels. Don't really read a lot of fantasy or books that would typically have sequels. If you asked me this question maybe last year, I would have said the Elena Ferrante Neapolitan novels for sure, and I mean I guess the sequel or whatever, but this year the only sequel that I've read would be, again, the Outline trilogy. The sequel for that is Transit. And by default, it would have to be the answer. And I'm gonna combine some of these questions here because I don't have a specific answer. 3 and 4 are about new releases or most anticipated releases. And I don't keep on top of that stuff. I just don't really know what new releases are coming out. It's just, there's a lot to keep track of in terms of novels that are out. So, I mean, yeah, I just not that intense. So I'm gonna combine this with question number 13, which is what books I need to read by the end of the year. And I don't need to read any books by the end of the year, but books I would like to read by the end of the year. One is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. You know, I've just heard so much about this. It's very well known. I think it might be like a modern classic. Is it? Does it? No, I don't. It won the Booker Prize. It's just, it's one of those books that I feel it's, you know, regarded as everyone should read it. So I want to get to this. Another one is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I've never read any Zadie Smith, so I feel as though I should, you know, yeah, her. Finally, I'm gonna say Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. This is, again, I think, somewhat of a classic, and it's one of those books that I feel I should get to, and so I intend to do so this year. Okay, so the next question is, I'm on question number 5. Biggest disappointment, I have 2. So one was The Best Kind of People by Zoe Whittall. This was like floating around on BookTube maybe 2 years ago or a year ago or something, and it was on some Canadian Book Prize lists or something, I hope it hasn't won anything. Oh God, if this won something, I hope it didn't. But even the idea that this would be on a list, like being considered for something, wow, it's really bad. I just thought this was like really bad. You know, the characters they're flat. It's two-dimensional all the way through. I mean, the plot is what kind of drew me in, along with some of the hype, which is that the George Woodbury, he is like the father and a well-regarded teacher, and he was accused of sexual harassment. This was like, I wanted it to be over so badly when I was reading it. It started off okay, and then as the novel went on, I realized, oh, okay, nothing else is happening. Nope, nothing, okay, cool. The other one, I think the other book I have to mention is more suitable for the question biggest disappointment, because I didn't have like a reaction like that. It didn't offend me by how bad it was, but I was still disappointed, and that is Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. So very popular author, and it's the first book I read by him, so I was a little weary, and yeah, I mean, like, I kind of left that book just feeling really underwhelmed. It's not a really great reading experience when something's unremarkable, you know? Like, it's like, could have done without it. Cool. Yeah, so that was disappointing because it doesn't make me want to go out and read more Murakami. Question number 6, biggest surprise. I'm gonna say 2 things. In terms of like books that aren't really my genre, I'm gonna choose a surprise from that category, because I did read Lying in Wait by Liz Nugent, and I actually had fun reading it. I don't think it's good, but given that this isn't really my thing, I liked it well enough, and it was really entertaining and really readable, so that's one that kind of surprised me. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and say Outline again, because didn't know anything about this book, really didn't know much about the author, and I picked it up and I was like, oh, okay, she's like totally my thing now, like this is clearly the author for me. So yeah, Outline again, it's been featured so many times here. And then 7 is favorite new author. Gonna have to go with Rachel Cusk, just because I've read 3 of her books this year. So Rachel Cusk, just taken over my list. Newest fictional crush. Number 9 is newest favorite character, and I can think of someone for that. So newest favorite character, I'm gonna go ahead and say Frederick from All the Light We Cannot See. Wow, like what a character, what a sad ending for that character. Yeah, I mean, I loved him in this book. I just admired him so much, and he's not a main character, but he really struck a chord with me and pulled at those damn heartstrings. So Frederick. Number 10 is book that made you cry, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that this brought me closest to tears. Didn't cry, but again, the plot line with Frederick was like pretty damn close to making me cry. So yeah, a book that made me happy. What books do I did this one already? Okay, favorite book community member. Okay, so I'm gonna give this to Claire Reads Books. Her channel is great. I love the videos she comes out with. I can tell she puts work into it. They're really thoughtful, and she's so articulate, and I just feel like her reviews and the way she talks about books, it's so structured and like tight, and she kind of inspires me to come out with better content. The things that she has to say about the books, you can tell she, really takes her time to think about it. I feel like she really gets into the meat of it, and yeah, I'm gonna say her because I thoroughly enjoy watching her videos, and I feel like they are really thoughtful. So Claire Reads Books. I'm sure you know her channel, but if you don't, check her out. That's my mid-year book freakout tag. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out over books. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and please comment down below. I would love to know what some of your favorite books are.